if you are, say you are potentially looking for a coach, like you're a woman who happens to be listening to this, you're looking for a coach, like what, of course, we believe that, and we know just from experience that the graduates from our program are, top notch, high level, not just their coaching skills, but their whole systems approach, the root cause approach. What would you say, or how would you help them? Like, how do you know you're hiring a good coach? How do you look for a coach? How do you know you're getting that credentialed, someone who actually has learned the coaching skills? What do they look for? Or how do they know they're finding that type of coach?
Yeah, I think at the bare minimum, you want someone who has been through an in-depth coaching program. So that has been approved by NBC-HWC because there are fairly strict requirements, and we are audited deep dive every 3 years. We update our materials every 3 years to make sure that we're cutting edge, that we're staying on top of the research, that our practices are getting better and better and better. So if they graduated from an experienced school that has been approved by NBC-HWC multiple times, for the longer, the better, because again, they've had to evolve over time and they have the experience of what makes a good, highly skilled coach. They're focused on excellence at all levels, and they provide that community support to their coaches so that their coaches have the bandwidth to hold space for you. I think, one of the things that people don't consider is how burned out is their coach? How, how burned out is their doctor, right? So that's a really important thing to think about. Coaching is a skill set that requires a lot of emotional bandwidth. And if your coach is super burnt out, that's not going to be the best place for you. That oversight is, I think, very strong and very important. Then if that coach themselves went and took that next step of being board certified, which is far easier, more in the US than outside of the US, it's more difficult to access that board certification outside the US. So if a person has gone through a board certified program and has a certificate from that. So let's say one of our graduates in Singapore, isn't board certified, I wouldn't be as concerned about that as long as they graduated from our program, because just accessing the test is tougher outside of the US, and it should be expanding soon to Europe, but it's not really there yet. So that is another, those are green flags to look for, if you will, that the program is very strong, that the person's been committed to it for a long time, that they have that experience. And I think it's actually really beneficial to find a health coach who is niched to the area that you're most concerned about, but aren't totally limited. So when you meet with them, they're really interested. They've had a lot of experience with the same number one question that you're struggling with, number one problem. So they're pretty niche down, but they're open to individually really hearing your story and being curious about it, not necessarily giving you a 5-step program to healing. Now, a structure around the program can be very helpful to keep people on task and kind of making sure that they bring in all the aspects of what helps people to heal at the root cause, but that they're not so committed to their structure that they can't hear your unique challenges. So I think that makes a really good, really flexible coach, and coaches that are collaborative with other professionals, because no one professional has the magic wand solution to your challenge. But coaches who are collaborative, who work with other professionals, who bring in new ideas, who stay on top of the research, who attend in-person or virtual conferences, who do continuing education, they're really curious and spacious and educated, and they're committed to really helping you, but they also take time for their own nourishment. That's going to be your best bet.
Yeah, I think that's just so important to mention, because in that coaching market we were talking about, in the very beginning, there's so many people out there who say, I'm a coach, I can help you. And I think just like with nutrition information or trying to find your own health, information on your own health journey, it can be confusing as to, okay, how do I find a coach to work with that I know is going to, fit everything that you just spoke about.